Yo, how's it going? I haven't made a new intro yet for this. It's been a while since I made a video. Those little shorts are kind of fun, but yeah, let's get back to videos. Cruise around this. I'll make up something. Some suggestions for a new intro would be great. See you guys later in just a second. All right, we're back. So I got some packages to open. I'm gonna open these. Where am I gonna set you guys? I don't know. I think I'm gonna open the door of the 4Runner and put you guys inside like this and shut the door. I don't know. This looks like a good plan. This looks like it might work. There's nothing wrong with this plan, right? Okay, good. I got these in the mail. I think my sister sent these to me. So they're t-shirts. One is, it's either my sister or my brother-in-law sent these to me, maybe, I don't know. But they fit perfectly, 4-speed. I think it's my brother-in-law, Steve. If not, whoever sent them to me, tell me. And then this one, pretty cool. Right there, retro lava lamp. Did somebody make this shirt for me, or is this like legit an actual shirt that's out there? Because this is ridiculous. I love it. Okay, whoever sent those to me, thank you very much. Got something else to get. My buddy Jay, I needed some sockets for the dash lights in this car, so Jay sent me some sockets. But this seems like a little bit different package than some sockets. So I'm suspecting his wife, Donna, had something to do with it. She did. I can tell this. Look at this. Oh, wow. Hold on a second. Look at that. Ooh. Oh, this is the Emmett Car Show. Show and Shine, Emmett, Idaho. Those of you guys that follow Iron Horse Garage, you may have seen their Emmett, Idaho car show. This came from that shirt, or this came from that show. And these are some of the sockets for the bulbs that go in this dash. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Donna. Love you guys. Miss ya. All right, so there's that. Okay, story time, because today is story time, Saturday. Did I ever tell you about the time I had a shop tortoise? I didn't? I had a big one. She weighed almost 200 pounds. I named her Bruce because I thought it was a male, so I called her Bruce Willis for a while. And then when I realized it was a female, I called her Bruce Jenner because, I don't know. It just seemed like the change had happened. Although Bruce Jenner is a male, anyway, so that doesn't make any sense. But I couldn't think of a female named Bruce. Oh. How's the car doing? The car's doing great. Anyway, I had her. How we got her was a friend of mine had a house that was his grandparents', and there was always a tortoise there. One not as big as her. His name was Sheldon, and he was kind of territorial. He was kind of mean. If you weren't paying attention, Sheldon would ram you. And if you moved anything in the yard, like a trailer or a 5-gallon bucket, he would go out there and just ram into this bucket. And he could literally move a car trailer. He could bang it hard enough where he would like move it. He just would ram it. And they're super tough. But Sheldon, I think he got given away to somebody because he was just mean. He was a jerk. Like if a turtle could be a jerk, he was a jerk. Bruce, on the other hand, came to us from my wife was home one day, and a neighbor stopped by and said, "Hey, your tortoise got out." And while we were living there, Sheldon wasn't there. Sheldon was gone before we moved in, but my friend still owned the place. I used to go there and help him with his bikes and stuff. And we got rid of Sheldon and moved stuff out, and then we moved in. Anyway, there was no tortoise in the house. And then the neighbor came by and said, "Hey, your tortoise got out." And my wife's like, "Oh, we don't have a tortoise." They're like, "Yeah, sure you do. This house always has one." So here he is. And they put her in the yard, and my wife calls me and goes, we have a tortoise. And I was like, Sheldon came home. She's like, no, this big female, saw from South Africa, I think. They're a desert tortoise. Sultana, something like that. They're, she's big. You could count the rings, and that would tell you how old they were, kind of like a tree. But she weighed like 200 pounds. I think she was like 75 years old or 80 years old. But she was massive. But she was really fun. She'd follow us around in the yard. I could actually call her, and she would come to me. And I was building that 57 Chevy truck that you saw the burnout video I was building for my friend Ben. I was actually building it out in the driveway, and I'd be underneath there doing something, and all of a sudden I'd look up, and here's the head of this tortoise right here, and she's sticking it out, and she'd start sniffing me. And she's kind of a loud breather, so I'd hear this, and she'd be like sniffing me like, hi, Bruce. She'd just get real close to me, like I'd pet her, and she'd wander around. But what was really scary is when I was torching the front of the frame off, and sparks were flying, she was curious, so she would come from under the truck, and I'd be torching away, and here she would come out from underneath, and I'd be getting ready to cut something, and she'd come underneath the truck. I'd have to stop and be like, Bruce, and I'd pick this thing up and walk her over the other end of the yard, and then, a few minutes later, Bruce was back, and it was nonstop. That happened all the time. And then I'd look in my shop, and there'd be like bikes rocking around, and she'd be like trying to get around bikes, and finally we made her a spot in the back area we had like a little back porch area back there, and she slept back there. She actually was trying to have babies, and she dug a hole under a 50 Chevy truck, one of the old Navy trucks that we had back there in the backyard that my buddy had. She actually was burrowing under the truck, and I was afraid it was going to fall on her, so I was putting like 4x12s and beams underneath it to hold it on the ground to straddle this giant hole. And then I waited for her to get out, and then I filled it back in and blocked her so she couldn't get around the truck anymore. I just put stuff around because I was afraid that truck, she would just, fall on her. But then I got sick, and we moved away, and I don't know what happened to her. Somebody said that they saw her at the Humane Society. I don't know. Inside the Humane Society, in like their courtyard, she was like a mascot or something. I don't know if that's true or not. But she was super cool. Yeah, she was fun. Bruce is really cool. I wish we could have another one. But they like to roam. They like to wander. And then they'll go, and they dig. They'll go to the edge of the fence. They want to get out, so they'll just dig. Unless you have a big enough yard. But she was hilarious. Bruce, the shop tortoise. She just wanted to hang out with me while I was building stuff. She didn't care about noise or anything. I could like put stuff on her shell, and she'd walk around carrying parts or tools. She didn't care. She was really fun. Yeah, that was Bruce the shop tortoise. I was trying to think of stories. I have like everyone, I don't know if this happens to you guys, you'll be doing something and all of a sudden something will pop into your brain, you're on a train of thought, and then it's like this whole new chapter opens up, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I want to tell about 15 of these stories in this train of thought, but I can't, and I come to do this story time and I can't remember what they were. But I can tell you the story about this car. It is driving really well. It has 3.0 gears, M21, all that fun stuff. The small block is running good. It drives really good. I'm having a great time driving it, surfing with it. Actually, I'll tell you about that later. But one of these videos I might get into like how much it's cost me to build this car. I haven't tallied up all the receipts, but I have a rough idea of what total cost is in this car. And it's lower than you think. Even with the blown small block and all the wheels and tires and everything, it's a lot lower than you would think it would be. Definitely a lot lower than, retail parts are for sure. Let's see, what other stories can I tell you? I don't know if did I tell you about the one I was thinking about, the old car guy, Jason, he's got that Yugo, and Subaru made a Justy that was similar about the same time as that Yugo. In fact, it was the first CVT I ever had experience with. I'll tell you this story. And I may have already told you this. If I did, forgive me. If not, then here you go. So this lady bought a Subaru, it was an 86 Justy, I think, brand new. She bought it new. And she brought it into the shop where I was working, the same place I changed all those fuel pumps on. And she was super sweet lady. She was just like, you know, she was older, probably in her 70s, and my buddy Wayne was like the shop foreman guy, and we were cruising around. Hold on a second. I'm trying to set you guys up so I can talk with my hands. But we were just kind of, we just wanted to take care of her. She came in, she was super neat, and she asked us to do like, you know, an oil change. And we thought, we never worked on one of these. They had a CVT, we didn't know much about them. And we thought, you know, let's just go through and check the adjustments and just work on it. So we pulled out the factory manuals and all the literature, and she left it with us all day, and we went through and like adjusted all the cables and set stuff up and changed the fluids in the tranny and did the whole thing, like set it all up, did an oil change and a tune-up, everything. We just did it. We actually gave her the tune-up and everything else, but she paid for an oil change. We spent a couple hours on it, just educating ourselves. And we were pretty excited. And she came and picked it up, took off with it. And then the next day she came back, and she was pretty upset because all she wanted was an oil change, and we ruined her car. And we didn't understand. We were pretty proud of it. We thought, man, we made it as good as new. Like, we went to factory specs. And so she said, no, whatever you guys did, you know, it vibrates and has funny, it just doesn't feel the same. And so we went back in and went through the specs again and put it back to, I mean, perfect. We mic'd out, we did everything to like within a thousandths, like adjustment. Like, we set it perfect to spec, like not on the high side, low side. We like set it perfect. Gave it back to her, and we were pretty sure we had it nailed. She brought it back the next day. Nope, no better. In fact, it's worse. Oh man. So I think we kept it for 3 weeks. Every day we worked on it for 3 weeks. And what we were trying to do was undo what we had done and screw it up enough, because we both, about the third day, we realized she bought the car brand new, and it was probably built like on a Friday at like 4 o'clock, and it was out of adjustment. But when she bought it, it was new. And so to her, in her mind, it was a new car and everything was perfect, even though it was out of whack. And so we had to figure out how far out of whack it was and try and make the car be so far out of whack to where it was close. And we got close, but it was never right. And finally, after about 3 weeks, she brought us a bunch of cookies, and she just said, you know what, boys? It's okay. Sometimes you just can't fix them all. And man, we were just like, oh, we were devastated, but it was hilarious. I'll never forget about that. But Jason, that one's for you. You've been working with that Yugo, and I feel your pain, buddy. Actually, I kind of like those little things, and I like the Justies. They're an interesting car, but there's a good story for you. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday, and I'll get back to doing more videos regularly. I still have to figure out how the sound quality and the picture quality is kind of weird on doing drivings. And I want to make sure when we're touring the island that you guys have the best experience. So give me a little bit of time to get this stuff editing. And in between now and then, I'm going to try and do a bunch of shorts so you have something to watch. And then we'll go into something else, because I'm not building it anymore. But don't forget, Monday, we're doing Muncies. And I got to think of a quiz question. So maybe you guys give me a topic, and I'll think of a quiz question inside that topic. Maybe I should have one of you come up with a topic and then share with the class. Who can I pick on? Who can I pick on? I got it. I'm going to call on... No, I'll do it on Monday. I'll call on you on Monday. I know who you are. You don't know who you are yet, but I know who you are. And there's a lava lamp. And by the way, I already told you that's a 4-speed. Yes, that is Tutu shower cap. It's how I keep rain and stuff out of it when I'm surfing. I park it with that in there. Anyway, see you guys later.